Are we live? Is this working? Are we connected?
Think we're live, Felipe.
I
Howdy.
think we're live. Yes, I can see people connecting. They are saying hi. Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, Felipe. Welcome, everyone, to the 2022 Snowflake Startup Challenge finalists unveiling. We are so excited to be with you as we announce this year's Startup Challenge finalists. Now, you might recognize the two guests on screen. Ben Gotredson, who oversees the Startup Challenge, along with lead developer advocate Felipe Hoffa. But I'm likely a new face to many of you. By way of introduction, I'm Ryan Green, and I recently joined Snowflake as anchor. I am thrilled to have joined Snowflake just in time for Snowflake Summit in Las Vegas. Now, I spent the last 10 years at the New York Stock Exchange, and in my prior role as senior correspondent, I was fortunate to be on hand as hundreds, if not thousands, of companies celebrated their IPOs. And I was fortunate to help bring those moments to life for their employees all over the world. Now, I have to say, though, that I arrived just in time. That was just the lead up, getting the opportunity to host this year's Startup Challenge finale live in Las Vegas in front of a live studio audience rivals anything I have done before. But I know we're going global here today. I see the comments coming in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. This is an active participation event. We want all of you featured. So ask questions away. We're going to be answering them throughout. Ben and Felipe, we have a lot to cover in a relatively short period of time. You guys ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Ben, from your perspective, you've been overseeing this challenge from the start. What are you seeing this year?
Sure. Ryan, first off, pleasure to have you on the Snowflake crew. Never in our wildest dreams did we think we'd pull this one off, but we're pretty pumped about it. So this year, the second year that we've done the Startup Challenge, it's been incredible what we're seeing on the front lines. We have nearly 300 applications. And I want to emphasize, it's not a trivial application. I mean, they have to build a product on Snowflake as part of the application. So to have nearly 300, we were really pumped about. And it's not just Silicon Valley we're talking about. Over 40 countries are represented across those applications. And you would not believe the innovation that we're seeing across different industries and segments. Environmental tech, fintech, healthcare. I mean, you're really getting a sense of the bleeding edge of the future of these industries. So we could not be more thrilled with what we've seen so far.
I know that we're announcing the three finalists today, but Ben, I think it might be helpful to provide some context of how you selected these top three.
Sure. So first, we waited till applications were closed. So we got those nearly 300. And we had a Herculean task of getting it down to just 10, which a cross-functional panel did within Snowflake. Once we had those 10, we boiled it down to 3. We met with all 10 of those. Then we picked 3, which was a tough decision. And the criteria kind of remained consistent throughout. So I'll go through it. One of the primary criteria we used was, is Snowflake a central part of their product, that's powering? Do they have a variety of Snowflake features under the hood? So things like Snowpark, data sharing. Does the product meet an unmet need that Snowflake might not be directly addressing? What's the total market opportunity for this startup and future of it? And does it have a serious competitive advantage versus the competition in the space? So that's kind of what we based all of our decision making on.
It's exciting, and I know we're building up to that unveiling of the final 3. And don't be rest assured, everyone that's tuning in, we're going to get there. But Felipe, from your perspective as host of last year's inaugural Startup Challenge, what were your major takeaways as we jump into year 2?
Yeah, so I have to say, looking at year 2, it looks super exciting. It's a lot more of what we had last year that was already awesome. Like to sit in the middle there of so many people that breathe data. Like it's not only the 3 finalists that we had last year that have had a great path after the show. Like the winners and everyone else got this opportunity not only in front of the judges to show what they are doing, but not only the judges, but also the whole world could see them in action, showing their stuff. And the judges are just stellar, like having Denise, our CMO, having Benoit, our founder, and having two early investors in Snowflake, giving them their mentorship, their thoughts, their questions. And building this together last year was awesome. This year is just more of everything. You are going to be hosting the live show. There's more money in the prizes. There are more countries involved, more participants. Just getting better and better and better. So glad to see what happens now.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. To your point, it's very much a journey for these founders, these entrepreneurs, as they embark on that next chapter of scale. Felipe, you mentioned a key difference of last year versus this year. And Ben, from your perspective, now having the finale live in Vegas and part of Snowflake Summit, why was this so important in the overall evolution of the Startup Challenge?
Yeah. I mean, it all boils down to, I think, the energy that's going to be surrounding it. It's going to be the energy coming from the startups as they're making their pitch, the energy from seeing the judges deliberate live on stage in front of us, the energy from the audience that's going to be there, and definitely from you, Ryan. I already know that you're going to be bringing it, so we're excited to see that. And I can't wait to show off these 3 products that have been built on Snowflake. I mean, they're so groundbreaking and innovative. They're just really exciting to learn about. So personally, that's what I'm most excited about. I'm excited to unleash that to the entire Summit audience.
Excited to bring that to life. I'm a big proponent of kind of that live audience. You can feed off of that energy and really put the 3 finalists in a position to tell their story in front of a global audience. I mean, that's really kind of what it's all about. And it's so exciting. And I want to jump over quickly. We have a lot of kind of updates and comments coming in. Felipe, what are you seeing? I know we're going global here, but I see some pretty interesting locations. You want to run through a couple of them?
Oh, yeah. Let me read you some. For example, Hadim is saying hi from Morocco. Mohamed is saying hi from Montreal. We have, I don't see a name, but from Texas, from India. And it's like, well, yeah, people are tuning in, and I hope they're dreaming how they can be the next startup in the 2023 Snowflake Startup Challenge. So
I know.
I'm so
I just
excited to
wanted
see.
it's similar to Felipe, what you've been saying, similar to what you've been saying, Ben, is we are indeed going global. Now, Felipe, we talked a little bit about the judges last year. Perhaps you'd like to give a quick sneak peek of the judges here for this year for round 2 of Startup Challenge.
For sure. You need to remind me who the 2 investors this year are, but just having Benoit, the Snowflake founder there, that he's the coolest guy. Like having the opportunity not only to see him during the show, but having the opportunity to talk to him. He really has such a strong vision with his co-founders like Thierry and the rest of the team of what people want. Like Snowflake exists because there was a space. There were more companies doing data, but Snowflake really nailed what customers want, what their users want. And that's the kind of vision that Benoit can share with you as a startup in this program. Then Denise Pearson, she's our chief marketing officer. She knows how to deliver a message. Messaging is so important for anyone trying to do anything in data and tries to go out, sell the product. How do you go and show it to the world? How you deliver, how you nail it? Who better than Denise there judging you, asking you questions, and then mentoring as you go through these phases?
If I could add to that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool to see these startups present to Benoit.
Right.
And it just shows, he built this product with Thierry years ago. And then you fast forward, nearly a decade, and it's like, look at what these little offshoots are building using our technology. I mean, it's got to be hard to even process. And then, double down on Denise, her skill set of a simplified, coherent message that you can carry out through your company is so important. And it's really crucial for these startups. And I think the 3 that we're going to talk about do a really excellent job at that. But obviously her expertise, they're going to have a lot to learn from too.
I think in having Carl, coming back as a repeat judge and Jayshree from Arista, I mean, you're really combining the essence of everyone, right? Go-to-market, founders, investment, a proven leader and CEO. I mean, sorry, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, guys.
And, if people have not watched last year's video, please watch it just to see those judges in action.
And Felipe in action.
Yeah, well, I try to do my best, but yeah, this year is only going to get better. So
we're excited. I think, gentlemen, I think it's time. I think the audience is ready. And I know we have somebody joining here from North Carolina. So we're still going global across the state. So congratulations to everyone for making it this far. But I think it's time to really get to the reason why we're gathered here today, the big reveal. And as we've talked about throughout this program, we're going global. And first up from Bangalore, India, let's listen. I can't hold back any longer. Let's jump right in. Houseware, Felipe, if you'd like to roll the tape.
Let's roll.
Question. Can you tell us a little bit about the founding story behind Houseware?
Houseware really started with a very simple question. We asked ourselves, what would it really take to take the value of the data warehouse from data and engineering teams and give it to the revenue function inside an organization? Funny enough, Houseware is quite literally the reverse of the word warehouse. And our team had been building data apps in different industries on the data cloud, e-commerce, CPG, MarTech. And we realized that scale is a solved challenge now in the last decade or so. What is not solved for is how do you really get the value in the hands of the users in different functions such as sales, marketing, product, and customer success. And the real challenge here is that the data ecosystem for far too long has centered the attention towards tables, columns, rows, schemas, none of which do people in these functions really care about. They only care about outcomes and metrics, and which is what we have built at Houseware. We built a no-code interface to build collaborative data apps on top of 150 plus different sources. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose to join the challenge this year?
Of course. So from the very beginning of our founding journey, we have been architecting and building the product on top of the data cloud in Snowflake. We were using Snowflake as practitioners for the last 5 years or so. And we came across a startup challenge. It was pretty much a no-brainer for us. For us, it has always been about customer value and how we can leverage the data cloud to sort of go together to market. Access to the Snowflake team, the leadership, and the joint go-to-market activities such as this one is really why we've been excited to be a part of the challenge and why we really applied for. And yeah, looking forward to more such things together.
You were selected out of hundreds of applications. What does being a finalist mean for you and for the broader team?
Yeah, so our team is definitely very excited. It is a huge validation for what we are doing at Houseware. We believe since day one that Houseware and Snowflake should have been together as a better together story for our joint customers. And this is what we are really happy about so far.
And what are you most excited about come Vegas in the Snowflake Summit?
Yeah, to be honest, coming out of COVID-19, this is going to be one of my first conferences that I go to. Very excited to be interacting with 10,000 plus people who are practitioners and working on Snowflake, getting to meet them in person, as well as we'll get a chance to pitch to the founders of Snowflake. So Benoit, Carl from Sequoia, and a bunch of other people like Denise who've been in the leadership team at Snowflake. Personally, very excited to be meeting them and sharing the Houseware journey and story with them.
Divyansh, the Houseware team can't thank you enough, and we're really excited to see you all in Vegas.
Yeah, really excited to be there. Meet you soon, Ben. Thank you.
Gentlemen, welcome back, Ben. I mean, how was it to have the conversation? I mean, this is what it's about, right?
Absolutely. I got to admit, I'm embarrassed at how long it took me to realize that Houseware is just warehouse backwards. I'd say it probably took me 2 months.
I'm blown.
But the niche that they focus on, data apps, it's what gets me out of bed in the morning when it comes to Snowflake. I think the future is so bright for this exact workload. So I'm really excited to see innovation in it. And there's a ton of customer demand. And the no-code data app building concept is huge. I think it opens the functionality of Snowflake up to some less technical users like me. So I'm pumped about it.
Felipe, from your perspective.
Oh, first I want to call out who is here right with us in the live chat. Divyansh is here, so you can not only ask us questions live, he's ready to answer everyone's questions. So it's super exciting to do these live shows and have everyone gather this moment. Yes, I'm
You
still
know,
processing Houseware.
yeah,
You were going to say.
and I think it really dives into the international presence of this year. I mean that's what it's about. We've talked about it, going global here, but hearing from co-founders, their mission, their story. Every startup is unique in their self. I mean, it's just great to, again, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because to hear it directly from the individuals that are building this from the ground up, really, that's what it's about.
No doubt. And 2 of the 3 finalists are from outside of the US, and 5 of the 10 semifinalists are from outside of the US. So it's awesome to see how global this thing is.
We're off to a great start, gentlemen. Now we're going to come back stateside, hailing from San Francisco. Felipe, we've got ModelBit. Would you like to do the honors?
Let me find the clip. Here it is.
Can you share the story behind founding ModelBit?
Absolutely. My co-founder, Tom, and I have been working together for almost 20 years. We've worked together on a lot of things, but we are probably best known for our last startup, Periscope Data. And as we had the opportunity to build and grow that company and eventually sell it, we had a front row seat to the migration of the data industry from old on-premises tools to modern cloud-based tools. And because of that front row seat, we saw that data scientists are still stuck in the old world, and that we had an opportunity to move data scientists into the cloud for the very first time. So over the last several months, we've interviewed many of them as we developed our approach and eventually launched ModelBit.
Sweet. So can you tell us why you chose to enter the challenge?
We entered the Snowflake Startup Challenge primarily for visibility and exposure. We know almost all, if not all, of our prospective customers use Snowflake, and we're excited to meet as many of them as possible through the Snowflake Startup Challenge.
Awesome. So hundreds of applications, you guys made it through to the final round. What does being a finalist mean for you and the ModelBit team?
It means the opportunity to meet as many of our prospective customers in person as we possibly can. We know a ton of ModelBit customers and potential customers will be at the Snowflake Summit. And as finalists, we now have an opportunity to talk directly to them in Las Vegas.
All right, final question. Outside of meeting potential users of ModelBit, what are you most excited about for Snowflake Summit?
Do you mean besides going to Las Vegas, Ben?
Like
I think we're probably most excited to meet as many of those users in person as you said, and also for the opportunity to refine our pitch. As we grow the company over the long term, we'll have to pitch investors and customers and employees, and this is probably the first live pressure test of our pitch. We're excited for it.
Awesome. Harry, thank you for joining, and we can't wait to see you in Vegas at Summit.
Thank you, Ben. See you in Vegas.
Harry, indeed, we are excited to see you in Vegas. I mean, how great is that, gentlemen? I mean, to hear not only kind of the story, but also what they're looking forward to the next chapter here. Obviously, the finale of the Startup Challenge this year.
Certainly. I know what gets me excited about ModelBit is, one is the fact that they've been there, they've done that with the founding of Periscope Data, which was a really successful business intelligence tool. And they're going after, the support in this rapidly growing community of Snowpark users and the ML community that's going to be behind Snowflake. And I think that's a smart bet to place your startup's future on, because if you imagine where it's going to be in 12, 24 months, it's hard to even fathom. So their timing is impeccable.
Felipe, I want to dive in on the tech, if you don't mind. What excites you here about ModelBit?
Yeah, I look at Houseware, I look at ModelBit, and I see how Snowflake is empowering them. Just the fact that they can bring their technology, their ideas, their code to Snowflake and leverage Snowflake as their processing framework. Like, this is where their code can run, and it can run next to the data, and it can run with the data secured and not moving it, copying it elsewhere. That's just these companies are showing fundamental building blocks, and it's really exciting to see what Snowflake is enabling for them.
Gentlemen, I have to say I love hearing about our 3 finalists, but I'm also getting extremely excited for the overall Snowflake Summit. I mean, for both of you guys looking forward to this?
Cannot wait. It's going to be a busy week, and busy in a good way. So I'm pumped.
I have a lot of talks to deliver that week. So that will be fun, just connecting to people in real life, spending time together.
Ryan, how about you? First Summit, what are your thoughts?
Listen, as we talked at the beginning of this program, I think timing is perfect, right? I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason, and to be sitting in this chair, really kind of a month in, couldn't think of a better time to join. Being able to be around people, live audiences, bringing together Snowflake customers, clients, sharing stories, talking about how customers are using Snowflake so that they can impact value for their customers. I mean, that's what it's all about. And from my perspective, I love the storytelling element, and I love hearing how people are using technology to make better decisions. And I think that's really going to be at the core of Snowflake Summit. And listen, it's in Las Vegas. I've only been there one time. I'm excited to go back. And again, I think my cheeks are gonna get sore from all the smiling and the excitement. I'm right at around a 6 or a 7. At Snowflake Summit, you're gonna see me at an 11 or a 12. So, gentlemen, we are off to a very, very strong start. Last but certainly not least, we're going back abroad, back international, out of Leeds, UK, Hyperfinity. Felipe, let's hear from Peter.
Peter,
can you share the founding story behind Hyper?
Yeah, sure. So myself and my 3 co-founders, we've known each other for a long time, over a decade. And we've all harbored an ambition to set up a business, a successful business, the kind that we'd want to work in. So we thought about what could that business be? Well, the industry we know really well is retail and CPG. We have data science and analytics backgrounds. So what we thought we'd do is we'd try to make data science and AI accessible to retailers and brands to help them make great commercial decisions. So that was really the genesis of our business.
Great. Second question, why'd you choose to enter the Startup Challenge?
Yeah, so we followed the Startup Challenge closely in 2021 when Overlay Analytics was successful. And what we thought was that it's a really prestigious challenge, and it's also one that's tough to win. And because it's prestigious and because it's tough to win, it carries a lot of weight with prospects and clients if you can be successful. It really shows that you have a compelling product and a first-class business. And I thought if we go for it and if we're successful, then that's going to stand us in really good stead.
That bleeds in nicely to the next question. What would being a winner and what does being a finalist mean for your team?
I mean, it's amazing, really, to reach the final. I think first of all, it's a validation that we've built a product that solves a genuinely significant need for retailers and CPGs. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that it's a glowing endorsement of our business model, of the team that we've built, and of our go-to-market strategy, and really kind of backs up what we always thought, that Hyper could become a world-leading decision intelligence business. So it's really given us a lot of confidence.
And final question, what are you most excited about with the finale and with Summit?
Yes, so we're excited to compete. We always like to compete, so we're excited about competing with the fellow finalists. We're looking forward to presenting the business and the product to the judges and getting their feedback. We're excited about the rest of the summit, some great sessions on, so we look forward to that. And personally, I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. I've been there a few times on holiday, always really enjoyed it. I think it's a perfect location to have the Snowflake Summit.
Awesome. Well, Peter, we can't thank you enough for joining us today, and we're excited to see Hyper at Summit.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Great to hear Peter's perspective and really that hyper competitive nature. I mean, what did you guys think?
Hyper competitive. I see what you did there. Hyperfinity.
I mean, the one thing I think we'll all see in Vegas with Hyper is just how incredible they are at marketing. Like, I really think Denise is gonna catch an eye to this one. Everything they've put together for this competition so far has blown us away in how they frame things and message things. They also have a really advanced and intelligent utilization of Snowflake, the features that they take advantage of, the new product lines that they're testing out. And, to cap it off, they have a really impressive customer reference list for an enterprise, but especially for a startup. So hopefully all that gets shown off in that summit.
Felipe, from your standpoint, if diving into the tech, any key takeaways here?
Yeah, so we have 3 finalists that are all about Snowpack. Something I love when I listen to them and I see what they built. We're not talking about future technology. We're not talking about ideas and dreams. They have their systems in production. They have customers. They're using Snowpark today to enable their business. This is just the next step in how they are going to grow by getting funding, by getting visibility. But the technology is here. This is the way to build the future with data. And Snowflake, again, we're enabling it. And I cannot be prouder to be part of this team.
You know, to your point, Felipe, massive team effort, massive shout out to the finalists for making it this far. You know, I was excited for the finale before, but now seeing our finalists, it's going to be difficult, you know, to contain myself over the next couple of weeks as we get ready for Summit here. Ben, I want to talk a little bit as it relates to the finale itself. You know, this year doing things a little bit differently. Any other kind of sneak peeks you'd like to share with the audience watching here today?
Right. One thing we haven't touched on is that this year, all 3 finalists are going to be eligible for investment. Last year was just first place. And I love that because these 3 are really deserving. So I'm happy with that change, that update for this year.
Yeah. And I have to call out Peter Denby's with us here right now live. So any questions that people have for him, you can find him here in the live chat.
So I know we're coming up on time here, gentlemen. We're rounding out to that 30-minute mark. I mean, but it has been so much fun. I know we've gone global with the conversations, the chat. Are there any questions that we want to call out here, Felipe?
We are light on the questions. I think people are just excited to see the 3 finalists. Hopefully they are great role models to learn from.
And I think that the common theme throughout this is overall excitement. Everyone looking forward to Snowflake Summit itself. Also the finale. I mean, it's kind of the perfect combination, really, of everything. Ben, from your perspective, any kind of parting messaging you like to deliver to the global audience watching here today?
Yeah, I think by checking out early stage startups, you get a glimpse of where the data industry is going. And that's what I love about this competition. You really get a sense of the future. And future's looking bright if you're looking at these 3 finalists. I also want to give a shout out to all, you know, nearly 300 applicants that we got this year. Like I said, it wasn't a trivial application to fill out, and we really appreciate that. And even for the people that aren't moving forward, we want to forward the partnership that you have with Snowflake. So we see that, we appreciate it, and I just want to thank everyone who's been a part of this year's.
I have 20 seconds to ask this question live. What are the prizes for the winners of the Snowflake Startup Challenge this year?
Sure. So first prize is up to $500,000. Second and third is up to $250,000 USD.
Not bad.
Yeah. You heard it here first, everyone. You heard it here live. I mean, this is what it's about. This is a massive competition going global. That's what it's about. It is all building up to Snowflake Summit. It's going to be live that Thursday. I mean, as we've talked about throughout this process, Ben and Felipe, I was excited, to get involved in this, but now to see it come, full circle, to hear actually from the 3 finalists, I'm not going to be sleeping much over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be so excited to meet them in person, share their stories, and really see, the final results of this competition. A massive team effort. It's an exciting next chapter.
Ryan, I can't wait to see you run this thing. It's going to be incredible. You're going to have to keep it calm, though. I don't think it's
right. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not the star of this. The finalists, the judges, really, these are the experts, very much just helping tell that narrative, keep that conversation going. But when you throw a live studio audience in there, Ben, it's going to be fun. So I think we're right at time, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. For everyone tuning in from across the globe, we hope to see you in Vegas in a couple weeks here. So congratulations to all the finalists announced here today, to everyone that participated. It's an exciting next chapter. We hope to see you soon in Las Vegas.
And let's all dance with the bear.